This is the book of Psalms, chapter 7, verse 14. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity, and hath conceived mischief, and brought forth falsehood. Kalalayim, Alahayanawa, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachaha, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach well and rule well, who taught me this truth. Peace and salutation to the Akim, the fellow laborers, the hopeful elect, pushing this truth that risketh their own lives throughout the four corners of the earth. To the Akweth listening and learning, in sincerity and in truth, Shalom. This is Shema from the Pillars of Benjamin Camp here in Toronto with another lesson, right? And we'll get right into it. I've got a number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 headlines, right? Esau, Edom, these Idumeans, they're in a trick bag, right? They're pushing forth an agenda, they're moving quickly. Psalm 7, verse 14. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity, and hath conceived mischief, birthed mischief, and brought forth falsehood, right? And this is talking about the wicked. NLT. The wicked conceive evil, they are pregnant with trouble, and give birth to lies, right? These ruling class elites, right? Conceiving mischief, right? What's that one in Micah? Micah 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds, right? You Edomites, right? Devising iniquity and working evil upon their beds. Even when they're at rest, they're thinking how to take out Jacob. When the morning is light, they practice it, right? And we're in their kingdom, they're having their rulership, because it is in the power of their hand, right? The Most High gave them the power, therefore they're able to practice it, right? So we see, let's get into the article now. We see these wicked elites. This one right here. This came out on Zero Hedge. This came out today, August 12th, 2022, the year of Yahweh Shem Yahshai turning up. And the headline is, it's over, right? We see that word there. We're watching our words because these devils are cut, right? You see the acronym, right? It's over. It says people exposed to the emic no longer need to quarantine, right? So the past 2.5 years, these wicked, dirty, diabolical madmen, Esau, Edom, have been conceiving mischief and pushing lies, man. Beating the fear drum, right? We'll read the first paragraph. Sorry you guys had to miss your grandmother's funeral, but at least you don't have to quarantine anymore. That may as well have been the message that the center put out on Thursday, conceding after years of micromanaging a crisis that those who are exposed to the emic, right, no longer need to quarantine, regardless of their jump shot status, something which would have gotten you banned on all. Yeah, we're not going to read any more on that, right? So we see, so they're pushing away. Listen, right? But 2/3 of people will not see this. All right, let's get a scripture. It's plain as day with these wicked, diabolical madmen. Let's get that scripture in Sirach 39. Sirach 39, I think it's verse 28. As his ways are plain to the holy, stumbling blocks to the wicked. Sirach 39, Sirach 29, verse 24. Salakia, Sirach 39, Sirach also known as Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 39, verse 24. As his ways are plain unto the holy, holy meaning separate. Who are the holy? The elect. Lord willing, we are of that number, the hopeful elect. Right, so what Esau Edom is doing is going to be plain to the elect. So are they stumbling blocks unto the wicked, right? 2/3 of our people out here under gross darkness, they're not going to be able to understand or navigate what's going on, right? And now you're hearing the grumble, the gorilla bumps is taking off, right? Right, this article right here, right? Now they're turning around and they're backtracking, right? With their forked tongue. Okay. Meanwhile, something more sinister is being brewed. Psalms 7 verse 15. He made a pit and digged it, right? And what is this pit that these Edomites have dug? Ultimately leading into the grain of rice, the Revelation 13 verse 16 on down. And is fallen into the ditch which he made, right? Ultimately, it will not come to fruition. The Most High going to stomp out that, right? Scripture says, shall rain it upon him while he's eating. Verse 16, his mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate, right? His mischief, his lies, his sinister plots shall return upon his own head. Right? His violent dealing, right? Didn't he rape, murder, rob, pillage the Israelites? Israel being a people for a place, right? So now we see this. I'm just going to read the headlines. August 11, 2022, the year of Yahweh Shem Yahshai, turn it up. This came out yesterday. Blacklisted news. Turkey is the next country to push biometric payments, right? And what's this going to lead into? The grain of rice, the Revelation 13 verse 16 on down, right? A big push for biometric cards and the introduction of more data, right? Turkey. Okay, these all came out within a day or two of each other, right? This came out on Al Jazeera. This came out August 9th, 2022. The title, Australia's central bank launches digital currency plot. Salakia, pilot. Right? Reserve Bank of Australia says year-long trial will explore innovative use cases and business models for currency, right? Right, we see where they're going. Australia's central bank has unveiled plans to examine the potential economic benefits of introducing a CBDC. Breitbart News. August 11, 2022, yesterday. Germany to introduce China-style color-coded emic status app, right? All this is going to lead into the grain of rice. All this is going to lead into biometrics. Plans to introduce a color-coded emic status app in Germany that will afford privileges to those who recently jump-shotted, have been criticized as an assault on freedom and akin to the schemes. We're not going to read that, right? These global elites. Blacklisted news once again. Trudeau government, Canada, to introduce national digital identity program, right? August 11, 2022, yesterday. All right. Revamping the government of Canada's digital infrastructure, right? Let's get a scripture. And why are these elites moving so quickly? Revelation 12. Revelation 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, right? Everybody on this earth. Woe, destruction. And of the sea, for the devil, the deceiver, the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, you Idumeans, you ruling class elites, you banking families, you WEF board members, you Rockefellers, Rothschilds, DuPonts, Gettys, right? It's come down unto you, who? Israelites, having great wrath because he knoweth that he hath but a short time, right? So he's moving quickly because he knows but he has but a short time, right? And it's our job to cry aloud and spare not, right? Right? Now's not the time to be talking about making it on this side and being hurt and offended. Okay? Revelation 19. We're in the time of prophecy. Revelation 19. Right? All hell about to break loose. And Jake's still caught up in BS, man. Revelation 19, verse 10. This is John the Revelator. And I fell at his feet to worship him. John fell at his feet. Who? The feet of who? An angel. And he said unto me, the angel said to John, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren. Right? The angel said this to John the Revelator, man. Don't worship me. We're fellow servants. We are brethren that have the testimony of Yahushai, the testimony of Yahushai. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahushai is the spirit of prophecy. Look in this word testimony, right? And this is what we're doing. Crying aloud, sparing not. Warning that this grain of rice is coming. Right? Testimony. In the Greek, a testifying, the office committed to the prophets of testifying concerning future events. What one testifies, testimony, i.e., before a judge, right? Evidence given, all right? And what evidence is being given? The evidence of what this diabolical madman Esau Edom is doing. Scripture says he's going to come down having great wrath. We're going to testify, say he's coming down having great wrath. Scripture says he's preparing a sword. We're going to testify and tell Jake, get right, he's preparing a sword. Right? And who's testifying? The elect, the prophets, speaking, prophesying to say before. Right? Right, let's look into these guys here. Two people I wanted to point out in here on this. Okay? This is the leadership and governance of the, right here. I'm not going to say it. You see it, right? Right here. The leadership and governance. The world by now is familiar with who this guy is, right? But I wanted to point out a few people. Now this is the board of trustees, right? Automatically, two people stand out right away. This lady right here, right? So anytime you see this guy, right? The Prime Minister of Canada, anytime you see him, she's right there. Why? She's the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance of Canada. Okay? She sits on the board. She sits on the board. All right. Another name that stood out. This guy right here. Right. He's the CEO. BlackRock. Okay. Those in the know who that guy is. Another name that stood out. Okay. Remember the connection. BlackRock. CEO. This guy right here. All right. This is the poster boy. This is the one who began. This is where climate change started with this guy. He was also the vice president of the United States from 1993 to 2001. Right. Al Gore. Okay. Climate change started with him. Do we not see? Let's get a scripture. And it's the Lord doing it. Right. It's the Lord doing it. But the Lord also gave them that harp technology. Isaiah 29. Isaiah 29 verse 6. And it reads, Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts, Yahweh of hosts, with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. Right. This whole place is being visited with cataclysmic weather phenomena, man. France is on fire. I was reading this morning that Las Vegas, the casino strip is underwater. Okay, Kentucky got flooded out. Right? Pakistan got flooded out. Okay? Drought declared in the UK this morning. Isaiah 28. Isaiah 28, Salakia. Right? So these elites are moving. We open with the scripture. Right? Is it in Isaiah 28? Salakia. Now Satan gonna act up now with the connection. Salakia. Isaiah 28. Isaiah 28 verse 2. Behold, the Lord Yahweh hath a mighty and strong one, which as a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, shall cast down to the earth with the hand. Right? So the Most High, these weather phenomena, so-called weather phenomena, it's the Most High Yahweh Shemel Shai who's the orchestrator of these things. Right? So now, once again, I want to make this connection between Al Gore and Lawrence D. Fink. Right? So we go into this is just a quick thing on BlackRock. Right? You look them up. They'll give you the info. But what stood out to me was you go into what they started doing as of 2020. In his annual open letter, Fink announced environmental sustainability as a core goal for BlackRock's future investment decisions. BlackRock disclosed plans to sell $500 million in coal investment, right? Environmental sustainability, right? Right? These elites, right? Another one that stood out, Salakia, the president, not him. There's one here that was they see the token Jake. The water Kodash. Right here. The president of the European Central Bank. You see that? Listen, these elites, These elites, they're moving. Let's close. Revelation 14. Revelation 14, verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast, NATO and the EU, and his image, the system, right? Rome 2.0, the system, and receive his M-A-R-K, ragma. What is that? The C hip, right? It's physical. In his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine, right? And the forehead is the Neuralink, right? That you see Elon Musk pushing hard on, right? He just dumped I think it was $9 billion worth of stocks. What was the stocks in? I can't remember, man. A couple of days ago, right? To generate cash, right? Revelation 14, verse 10. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, right? So ultimately destruction, man. Right? The missiles, you're going to eat a missiles. You're going to eat a missile. Right? These devils are moving. Revelation 16, verse 2. And the first one, verse 1. And I heard a voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of the Most High upon the earth. And the first went out and poured out his vial upon the earth. And there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the M-A-R-K of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image, his system, right? And ultimately, a lot of torment going to come down on those that side with the beast, right? It says here grievous. Let's get this word grievous.
Strong's G 4190. Paneras. Paneras.
Annoyances, hardships, right? Bad nature, physical sense, diseased or blind, right? Right? Grievous, right? It's going to be pussy. It's going to be cancerous, right? It's a diseased or blind. Let's look at this word sore. Helkos.
Strong's G 1668. Helkas. Helkas.
Helkos. A wound producing discharge, pus, a sore, an ulcer, right? We ain't got to say no more. You see that? Listen, the Most High is not playing, right? And a lot of Jake out here, 2/3 of our people out here are going to fall for this wicked, diabolical madman's push, right? Those to hear, those with ears to hear will hear, man. Job 8. Close out. Job 8. Verse 13. So are the paths of all that forget the Most High, and the hypocrite's hope shall perish, right? Trusting in this system, right? The image of the beast, the system, right? The hypocrite's hope shall perish, right? And 2/3 of our people, your hope, your trusting in the shadows of Egypt is going to perish. Verse 14. Whose hope shall be cut off, and whose trust shall be a spider's web, right? Spider's web. Your trust in the shadow of Egypt is a trap. Spider's web, a trap. A fly flies into a spider's web. It gets wound up with more spider's web and gets eaten by the black widow. The blood gets sucked out. It's just a dry corpse left inside the spider's web. Verse 15. He shall lean upon his house, right? Leaning upon whose house? Esau, Edom's house, his system. but it shall not stand. It's not going to stand. He shall hold it fast, right? You 2/3. You're going to hang on to this, the cares of this life, Esau, Edom's promises, his trust, his system. He shall hold it fast, but it shall not endure. It's not going to endure, man. Ultimate destruction, the missiles. Pray edified, Adwan Ortaza. Stay prayed up, pray without ceasing. And stay watching, man. This place, this devil's make a move, man. Right? Shalom.